3 days later, the ancient raven Rook told the dwarves Smaug was dead, and that the men and wood elves were sending armies to claim a share of the treasure. Thorin sent Rook north to his cousin Dane. He called for an army of dwarves to make war on the men and elves.
Here you are, Bilbo. The first payment of your reward. A mithril vest. A powerful object forged for an elf prince long ago. No less than you deserve for your help in this quest. And now I have a very important task for you. The Arkenstone, the heart of the mountain, is locked in the treasury. Find a way into the treasury and bring me that stone. You will need to open those doors first. Talk to Oin and see what help you can give him. I would trade all the riches in these halls for that one jewel, Mr. Baggins. Bring me the Arkenstone.
Aloha everybody, and welcome to part 12 of The Hobbit. And oh, look at that fancy mithril vest that Bilbo is wearing right now. We're looking very warrior-like. We're looking like we're going to be partaking in a giant battle in the future. And maybe we are, maybe we are. Either way, folks, this is the second last level in the whole entire game, and it's a gigantic puzzle level. We have to restore the Lonely Mountain back to the way it was, which means we gotta solve a lot, and I mean a lot, of puzzles.
I need to open these doors, but I can't figure out how. It involves these blocks, but I'll be burned if I can figure it out.
So right off the bat, all of the doors are locked to the gear room, the water room, the treasury, blah blah blah. And the only way to open all of these doors is to restore the glyphs. These glyphs are all missing one stone piece, and we have to match it with the corresponding symbol in the corresponding position. Like, we can't just stick it wherever. We have to make sure that it matches the example on the top left or top right of these glyphs. So you just pay attention to where the line should be, and then you find the one block that has that line indentation, and then what you want to do is you want to get that particular image facing where the water is. It doesn't matter what position it is. If it's upside down, sideways, just make sure that it's facing the water, and then you just rotate the block until it's standing upright in the position that you want it to be. So I'm looking, okay, there it is. Push it up there, and then I'm going to make it face the water. Ugh! And now I just rotate it until it's standing upright. Boom! Really not that complicated. I don't know if you could actually flip things over last time in the other levels when I was pushing objects, because I pushed a lot of objects up to this point. I don't know if when you push A during those levels, if Bilbo actually flips them over. It wasn't necessary up to this point, but it is now. So, yeah, just rotate the blocks. There are 4 blocks we need to put in for these glyphs, and again, it's really not as hard as it looks. You just have to find the right symbol, make it face the right way. And yeah, before I go to the next 2 blocks though, climb these structures right here to get to this gear belt. The gears in the gear room do not work properly, and you're going to need the gear belt in order to fix them. So yeah. As a kid, I didn't really like this level all that much because it is a gigantic level that is mostly puzzles. There are spiders we will have to kill, so you'll have to fight some spiders, but for the most part, it's just solving a lot of puzzles. And there's a lot, and I mean a lot of backtracking, because sometimes you'll go into rooms where you don't have the keys necessary or the tools necessary to solve the problem at hand, so you end up going a long distance for nothing, and then you're backtracking to this room and this room and this room. I know where to go because I've played this before, but you know, this is a very backtracky level. I remember the first time I played this back in 2003, I must have spent 40 minutes to an hour trying to finish this stage, because they just kept making me go in so many different directions. I kept dying to fall damage because the platforming it can be pretty tough here. And I was just kind of bummed out because it kind of ruined the climax I was expecting. Like, I know the story of The Hobbit. I've read the story of The Hobbit before I played the video game. After Smaug is killed in Lake Town, you know, there's the whole bit with the Arkenstone, and then there's the Battle of the 5 Armies. And that's the climax of the story. I knew it wasn't going to end with Smaug's death, but in the book and in the movie, the Arkenstone should actually be acquired right now by Bilbo. Bilbo should have it at this point in the story, because in the movie, he picks up the Arkenstone during his confrontation with Smaug, and in the book, after Smaug leaves for Lake Town, and then the dwarves are in the pile of gold.
This is the way to the old treasure chamber. That wretched dragon took the grandest hall of our kingdom and befouled it for 200 years.
Whew, still stinks of dragon. No need to go down there.
But as soon as Smaug leaves for Lake Town and you're in the pile of gold, Bilbo finds the Arkenstone. It calls to him, he pockets it, and he puts it in his jacket. And it isn't until, like, Thorin declares war on the men and elves that Bilbo decides he's going to sneak off, take the Arkenstone to the king of the elves, because Thorin's not quite acting very good. Thorin's kind of being a dick, you know? So, in this video game, they invent a scenario where we don't have the Arkenstone yet, so we have this gigantic level to get it, and again, with the climax, it's like the dwarves are all hyping you up like, we've made it to the Lonely Mountain, Bilbo, we've made it to Smaug, our long journey is coming to an end. And then you have the Great Smaug level, and you feel like you've accomplished something, and we're not done.
This room powers those carts up there. When they're active, we can travel all over these halls. Until some water is routed into this room, there's not much you can do in here. Go to the water room, Bilbo.
Like, personally, I would have just cut this level entirely and just had the narrators mention that, oh, he found the Arkenstone when he was trying to raise the door with the water. Or at least make that part of the level. You know, when we were trying to fill in the crevice so that the dwarves could get across, maybe we find the Arkenstone at the bottom where we plug up the hole, you know?
These gears are broken.
But now we got another busy level where we're repairing everything here in the Lonely Mountain, and the dwarves are doing nothing! It's their mountain. You'd think they'd want to find the Arkenstone most of all. They're not exactly more skilled than I am, just because I'm smaller than them, I'm weaker than them, you know? They can do all the shit that I'm doing right now, really. They can certainly fight these spiders that are coming after me. Come on, Thorin, Feely, Keely, Balin, Dwalin, Oin, Gloin, Dory, Nori, Ori, Bifer, Bofer, and Bomber. Come on! You assholes, why are you just standing around and making me do all the work? I should be getting paid a lot more than this, let me tell you. Bilbo, you're getting gypped. You should be getting, like, so rich. But I repaired the gears in the gear room because as soon as I get water flowing into that room, the elevators will start working, and that'll be very important. But in order to get into the water room, I gotta solve a puzzle. You must walk through Erebor to get to its heart. There's a whole bunch of symbols on these platforms here. And the white stone actually resets the letters that you push. But if you look at the statue, that says Erebor. So I memorize what those symbols are, and then I push those symbols in order to spell out Erebor so that I can open the door. It's really not that complicated. It doesn't matter what letter you push, just so that it spells Erebor in the order that you pushed. And some of them are holes with spikes that pop out to stab you, so you just gotta be a little bit careful with your platforming. But, not really that hard. Just spell out Erebor, and the door will open. Huzzah!
This must be the room that powers the rest of the kingdom.
My father built this room. It's most ingenious. These canals direct water into each room. Those that exit the front power functions in other rooms of the mountain. Those that go out the side, well, I don't know what those do exactly. Use those switches to direct the water where you will. The real trick is to get all the canals active at once.
This is your place, Gloin. Why don't you do it? You lazy bastard! I did my task, okay? I helped you with Smaug the Dragon. I want to go back to the Shire. Screw this business. This is bullshit. But we have this kind of puzzle you usually see in video games with, like, computer hacking or something, but, like, you know, you got, like, the symbols that you rotate, and sometimes they have 3 joint pathways, sometimes they're just, like, a curve pathway. You're trying to get it so that water is flowing into the top positions underneath those streams. Like, on the top row, there's the second one and the fourth one. You want to have water flowing to those so that there's water going to both streams, because we have to power both the gear room and the treasury room in order to do their business. But it's a pretty simple puzzle. You just make sure the lines are all following correctly. Pay attention to the exit of the stream to see where that water could go. Sometimes it's easier to work backwards in order to figure out how the water should be flowing, you know. And there are also these little side exits you can open up that reveal treasure chests as well.
The kingdom under the mountain is coming alive again!
But there's the gear. I have to get the other one, though, so... It was much faster in my test playthrough. I swear I'm smart. I don't hate these puzzles, though. Whenever they show up in a video game, I'm always pleased to play them, you know. Whether it's Watch Dogs or any other game that involves computer hacking. Booyah! Both streams are flowing with water. Booyah. And because I fixed the gears, that means the elevators are working. If I did not fix the gear, there would be no moving elevators right now. I'd have to backtrack all the way to the gear room. That's why I'm doing things in the order that I'm doing them. And before I move on, I'm going to jump off. I'm going to pick up this key mold that is in the water room with me. And I'm going to use the elevator to get to the other switch so that I can power up the forge, because that still has to be solved with another water puzzle. And this jump is really dangerous. So, like, you still have momentum when you jump, right? So, I'm going to make this jump and... Oh, God! Oh, God! I almost fell right into the waterfall area. Jesus Christ. Fall damage is absolutely a thing in this level. I could have died so badly. Oh, my God. But we got ourselves another Watch Dogs puzzle. It's not just Watch Dogs. I've seen this kind of puzzles in so many video games. It's just interesting, like, this is Lord of the Rings. This is Middle-earth. And we have, like, a computer hacking puzzle in a Middle-earth game. And those dwarves, they make really weird contraptions, let me tell you. What's even the purpose of this puzzle? Why wouldn't you just have, like, an on-off switch? Just make it so that they flow water or they don't. Who are we trying to fool? Either way, this is powering the forge. And, that way we can use the forge to make a whole bunch of keys with all of the key molds that we find, because we have to put them in indentations. Again, this is a very backtracky level. When I first played this, it was like 40 minutes to an hour. This level goes on a long time when you don't know where to go, what order to do things, and what you specifically need to collect. And it can be pretty annoying. Pro tip, though, this place has a whole bunch of chains on the higher ledges, and if you grab the chains, they will lower so that you can backtrack to higher places, which you couldn't do before. Like, the reason I couldn't just, like, climb the ladder to get to that water switch right there, the ladder is broken, but there's a chain right next to the water switch that will lower as soon as you grab it, so even though the ladder is broken, you can reclimb the chain to get back up there. But, you know, after I've solved the puzzle, I don't really need to get back up there, so I guess it doesn't really matter. That's damn good music. Seriously, The Hobbit has a fantastic soundtrack. Everyone needs to listen to The Hobbit's music. I would dare say it's more memorable than the Peter Jackson movie ones. Yeah. I might get shot for that. I don't care. But I really like the video game soundtrack. It's a damn good soundtrack. I also like the gigantic scope of this level. Again, it's what makes the backtracking so busy and so long. But I do like the fact that this is a gigantic, gigantic space of area. And you're going to be going to every little bit of it if you want all the courage crystals and all 100% completion and stuff. And I have to climb up the top of these ledges and stuff in order to find both a key mold as well as a chain, which I will need to fix the treasury room so that I can actually get to the Arkenstone. Yeah. So again, I grab this chain, it lowers, so if for some reason I fall down or I want to get back up here again, then I can instantly climb that chain to get back up. I don't have to ride the elevators. With these spiders, I'm not going to use Sting, I'm just going to use the stick because the ground pound effect is so useful, and because the stick is so much longer than Sting, it's great for dispatching these spiders from far away. I probably could have used it a little bit more in the Mirkwood Forest when I was fighting all those spiders, but, hey man, Sting. It's a glowing blue sword. Why wouldn't I use the glowing blue sword, huh? Huh? The only way to the chain is to sidle these walls, so just walk very slowly to the edge, and Bilbo will automatically cling to that wall. Don't run. He might just fall right off. And then Bilbo will die. What happened to Bilbo? Well, we wanted him to find the Arkenstone, and then he just sort of broke his neck trying to fix all these contraptions. Ha! Well, someone tell Gandalf. I'm going out for a smoke. What a tragic end to Bilbo Baggins. Anyway, folks, all I'm really doing is I got the 2 key molds I need, so I'm going to power up the forge so that I can make these keys, so I can activate all these different contraptions. I'm just trying to get the key I need to open the Arkenstone door, and then I'm trying to get the chain, which is right here, so that I can actually make sure that the Arkenstone door is openable. Because you need the key, but you also need to expose the key, yeah. The rest of this video is pretty much just going to be all backtracking, and there's not much more to it. Again, this level's much longer when you don't know what you're doing, but luckily, I've played this game before. I do know what I'm doing, so, I want to say thank you to the people who are still watching this playthrough, you know. The Hobbit is not one of the more popular video games I could have chosen. It's no Sonic, it's no Mega Man, and that's certainly been reflective of the views of this playthrough. Part 10, last I checked, had 3,692 views. Part 11 had 3,113 views. And these videos have been out for at least a pretty good amount of time. In between these 2 videos are Mighty Number 9, which got 10,000 views, so I get it. I see how it is. You just prefer Mega Man stuff and Sonic stuff. You don't actually care about me. Anywho, I'm over it. But the people who are still watching The Hobbit, you guys are the greatest. I don't even know if you like Lord of the Rings. I don't even know if you care about The Hobbit all that much. Maybe you think the game looks boring. I had fun with it. That's why I'm playing it. I grew up with this game. I think it's a fantastic platformer for the GameCube. But, you know, if you still don't like the game and you're still watching just because you love the sound of my sexy Canadian voice, then I thank you oh so much. You are a true fan. You are loyal, and I love you. I'm in love with you.
This is nothing like any forge I've ever seen.
The fire still needs to be lit. Once the flame is hot and the bellows are working, the forge can be used.
So as a treat for being so loyal, as a treat for actually watching the playthroughs that I'm uploading, I have 100,000 subscribers and only like 3,000 people are watching this. Come on. I'm going to give you the opportunity to vote in a specific straw poll that is going to be in the description of this video to decide what non-Sonic, non-Mega Man playthrough I do next. And I'm going to talk about these 5 games that I want to do to give you a little bit of an incentive to vote for them. Okay, so first up, Crash Twinsanity. Crash Bandicoot is back because of the Insane Trilogy. Everyone's all hyped about the franchise again. You know what game I really liked in that series that a lot of people might hate, might love, I don't know? Crash Twinsanity. It takes place after the Wrath of Cortex, and it is a game in which Cortex and Crash Bandicoot kind of have to team up in order to take out these bird villains, and it's an almost open world kind of platformer for Crash. It's not like separated by levels, and it's got an amazing soundtrack, my favorite soundtrack of the Crash series. It's one of the funniest games in the series. There's some really great gems of dialogue in that game, and I've always wanted to play Crash Twinsanity for the channel, so maybe you want to see that. Long ago, when I started this channel, I did The Legend of Mystical Ninja for the Super Nintendo. I have wanted to do the N64 sequel, Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, which is one of the most underrated, greatest N64 titles that most people probably haven't played. It's very much a Legend of Zelda type-esque game, sort of like The Hobbit, but it's got an amazing soundtrack, really great boss fights, and it's got that mystical ninja charm that I loved about the Super Nintendo game, but with an N64 title. It's really, really good. The villains are trying to turn all of Japan into a dancing opera, and they have a Peach spaceship that transforms buildings into opera buildings. And then you get into like a fucking Power Rangers super giant Megazord and you fight giant robots in it. It's fucking great. So if you want to see Mystical Ninja, vote for that. Dino Crisis is a game that was released for the PlayStation. It is very much Resident Evil. It's the same controls, the same kind of gameplay, only instead of having zombies, lickers, hunters, bioorganic weapons that Umbrella Inc. created. Dino Crisis is about fighting dinosaurs, velociraptors, pterodactyls, giant T-Rexes that will smash through windows and chase you. Dino Crisis is one of those gems that has been forgotten in the Capcom library because it really only had success on the PlayStation 1. There was Dino Crisis 3, but that game wasn't very good, and Part 1 and 2 were only on the PlayStation, so that series wasn't really revisited. I did Fear Effect, a survival horror game, a long time ago. I want to do another one, and rather than just do the usual Resident Evil type stuff, I want to do Dino Crisis, because that game is really unique, really fun. It has multiple endings, and one of the characters is voiced by the guy who did Donkey Kong in the Donkey Kong Country series. Banana Slammer! So, look forward to that. True Crime Streets of LA. It is a Grand Theft Auto clone where you play as a cop who's solving this gigantic mystery, but it has great car chases, it has stealth sections, it has really fun kung fu fights, and it's got an all-star voice cast. It has Christopher Walken, Michelle Rodriguez, Gary Oldman, Michael Madsen. It is one of the goofier action beat-em-up cop games I've played on the GameCube, PS2, Xbox era. And True Crime Streets of LA is really fun, and I would love to show that off, because that is a fantastic game, let me tell ya. And the other game I would like to recommend is The Bouncer. The Bouncer is a beat-em-up developed by Squaresoft, right before the Square Enix merger, one of the early PlayStation 2 games that they ever made. It's filled with all kinds of cutscenes, and it's a game where your girlfriend gets kidnapped by an evil corporation, much like Shinra from Final Fantasy VII, and you have to go through a whole bunch of crazy enemies like giant robots, cyber dogs. Oh yeah, you could give a fucking cyber dog a neck hold and choke him out. It's amazing. It's anime as hell. It's got 3 different playthroughs that I will be doing simultaneously to show off all the different cutscenes that happen between them. And The Bouncer is a really weird, kooky Squaresoft game. It's not the greatest game in the world or anything, but it's pretty out there, and I'd like to show that off. And if you don't like any of those 5 games, then I would suggest choosing Other in the straw poll. What do I pick if you choose Other? I don't know yet, but I'll pick something other than those 5 games. But I would absolutely recommend one of the 5 games I mentioned, because, oh god, I want to play those so badly. I'll be doing Sonic first before I do those games. I'm going to take my summer break. I'm going to come back with Sonic. Going to do some Sonic Lost World. Going to do some Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric. I know people have been waiting for that. And after that, I'm going to play one of the games that you vote for. You, the 3,000 or so people watching this Hobbit video of the most boring level in the whole entire game. Thanks for watching, people. You're my true fans. You're loyal. I love you. I want to have sex with you. I mean, did I say that? Oh boy. Silly me. But, yeah. So anyway, folks, we're at the end of the level. We're in the treasury room. I just replaced one of the chains that was missing. I have to pull all 4 of these chains in order to lower this pillar. And once the pillar is lowered all the way, I can then put in the Arkenstone key to open the door. And that's all there is for this level. I made it look really quick and simple. First-time players are going to find this level kind of long. And again, because it kind of goes against the climax of the 5 armies of Smaug, and the fact that this really didn't happen in the book, it is kind of a drag, this level. This is the one shitty level in The Hobbit, as far as I'm concerned.
To open the treasure chamber, you'll need a new key. The original was broken when Smaug looted these halls. Go to the forge and ask Bifur to make a new one. To use the key, you need to expose the keyhole. Each of those chains lowers that column a bit. You need to pull all 4 chains to lower the keyhole all the way.
Yeah, Nori, I think I just solved that. I think I just explained that to my audience, so whatever. But yeah, you just pull the 4 chains, and the pillar goes down, and again, I needed to get a key mold of this key and make it in the forge in order to actually use it here for this door. Haha, I found the Arkenstone! And this is actually where I got a little bit paranoid, because I only have 4 health bubbles right now, and then I activated a treasure chest. Reminder, if you do not successfully do a treasure chest, you can get poisoned, it can blow up on you, and that can drain all of my health. And I was very nervous because I thought I accidentally screwed this up too much. I was like, oh god, oh god, oh god. Woo! Oh my god, I made it. I don't want to die by treasure chest just as I reach the Arkenstone. And if I had just picked up all those white jewels, my health would have refilled because I got all the courage points. Bah. But yeah, folks, I solved this chest, and then I just pick up the Arkenstone, the great heart of the mountain that Thorin is looking for.
The Arkenstone, the heart of the mountain.
And that's that level, the second last level of the whole entire game. Kinda boring, I don't really like replaying it, but hey, what can you do? Anyway, folks, we're now going to the final level of the whole entire game. The last part of The Hobbit is going to be part 13. Let's go participate in the Battle of the 5 Armies.